Hello students. Today we will take the unit 1, that is diversity in the living world, which includes 4 chapters. The first chapter is the living world, and the second chapter is biological classification, and the third chapter is plant kingdom, and the fourth chapter is animal kingdom. Today's class we will take the chapter number 1, that is the living world. In that, the very first topic is what is living. Living means it is a unique complex organization of various biomolecules which are expressing themselves in form of various chemical reactions that results in growth, development, responsiveness of an organism, adaptation and reproduction. So this is the definition of living. Basically what I wanted to tell you is, let us take one organism, and every one of us know all of the organisms are made up of the basic unit that is called as a cell. We are all made up of cells. Now let us take one cell out. Now you try to analyze the chemical composition of that particular cell. Then you can clearly see that cell is made up of various biomolecules such as carbohydrates, the next one is proteins, and the next one is fats, and the next one is nucleic acids such as DNA and RNA. So all these biomolecules, they are joining together to make a cell, and all these cells, they are joining to make this complex body. So that only I wanted to tell you. Living means, that means a life means it's a unique complex organization of various biomolecules. That means many biomolecules, as I mentioned, carbohydrates, proteins, fats and nucleic acids such as DNA and RNA, they are joined. So complex organization of these biomolecules. Okay, hope you understand till now. Now थोड़ा आगे जाएगा, which are expressing themselves as various chemical reactions. That means these all biochemicals that are present in the cell, they are not quite, they are expressing in form of various chemical reactions, and these chemical reactions lead to growth and development and responsiveness and adaptations and reproduction. So this makes the standard definition of life. Now life means it is a state of being alive or experiencing the life. How? By representing the capacity of an organism to utilize the materials from external environment for energy production, growth and reproduction, and also to regulate the metabolic processes. That means, please try to understand, one organism is represented as an organism. How? Because these organisms has capacity to utilize the substances from outside. For example, I'll tell you very easy way. Please try to listen it carefully. Now every one of us, we took birth as a very small babies of 2.5 maximum 3 cases of small baby. Now you have grown to maybe 5 feet or maybe 6 feet also. Some students, they are even taller than me also. I'm sorry, I'm so happy for them. So what I want to tell is, every one of us, we took as small babies, but now we started eating. Now that means we are eating, matlab we started using the resources which are present outside, and then when we eat this particular food, they undergoes digestion, and by the digestion, the complex food material, it break down to simple soluble molecules, and they enters into the blood. For example, I'll tell you very clearly. Now you had food. When you are having food, it consisting of some roti and some chawal and some sabji. Now let us take roti. In roti, it consisting of carbohydrates and also some proteins. Now you roti, you usually roast it by adding 1 or 2 tablespoons of some ghee or sometimes oil. Now in that you are adding fat. That means this ghee and also oil, they consisting of fat. Now you are having this roti, but when it enters into our body, this roti which is having carbohydrates, proteins and these fats, they cannot be able to utilized by the cell as such. Then what to do? These large complex molecules, that means carbohydrates, proteins and fats, they are broken down to small molecules. So simple soluble molecules such as carbohydrates, they break down to form simple soluble molecules such as glucose. Now, proteins, they break down to form simple soluble molecules called as amino acids, whereas fats also they break down to form glycerol and fatty acids. Now, is such a easy soluble particles, they become after digestion and they gets absorbed by the blood, and blood, it supply all these digested food material to every cell of the body. So cell can be able to utilize that particular substance for the energy production and also for growth and reproduction, and also to maintain the regular metabolic process of the body. So this is called as ability of an organism to utilize the substances from external environment. Hope you understand it, students. So whenever you get doubt, I will be always available to you, so you can simply WhatsApp me, I will answer. We have a separate group for this 11th class, so that you can WhatsApp me in that particular group, and then I'll answer all your questions. Anything what you understand, you can just WhatsApp me, and whenever I see, immediately I will give proper response to you. Okay. Whereas these organisms may be unicellular or multicellular. Now, let us take what are the properties exhibited by various organisms. Now, characteristics of living beings. Before we go to the characteristics, first of all, what is the meaning of living being? Living organism means what? Living organisms, matlab, they are self-replicating, evolving and self-regulating interactive system capable of responding towards external stimulus. Let us take what is the meaning of this particular definition. Now let us go word after word so that you can understand very easily. Living organisms are self-replicating. That means this organism should have the capability to produce the young ones of their own kind. For example, one lion is there. This lion can be able to produce its baby. It's called as cub. Now let us take one dog. Now the dog has ability to produce its own offspring, that is called as puppy. Like that, human beings are there, and human beings are also having the capacity to produce the young ones of their own kind, and we will call it as a baby, like a male baby or female baby. So organisms should have the capacity of what? Replicating, so they can be able to maintain their species constant. Hope you understand the meaning of the first word, self-replicating. Whereas if you take unicellular organisms also, let us take easily, I'll tell, because if I tell examples you will understand more than just reading it. So let us take amoeba. Amoeba, it undergoes a type of reproduction called as, of course it is asexual reproduction, and that is called as a binary fission. That means only one parent individual, it gets divided into two offsprings. So it is divided into two offsprings. So binary fission. So organism is divided into so binary fission. Fission means what? Getting separated or divided. Whereas how many parts it is getting divided? Two parts. That's why binary fission. Hope you understand. So organisms must be self-replicating. So this is the meaning of this first word. Now let us take the second word of the definition. Evolving. That means organism should be able to change its body according to the external environment. That is called as evolving. Hope you know evolution, the gradual change that takes place in the body of an organism, it is called as evolution. So for example, let us take, it's a belief that we are the human beings, we actually evolved from a group of apes. That means these apes slowly they started walking, and then they started the characters of the developing the characters of a human being. Now we became this human body that is called as homo sapiens, homo sapiens erectus. That means we uh, eventually started developing the human characters, and then we became the human being. So we started our origin with apes, but we now became human beings. That means gradually we converted into human beings from ape. This only it is called as evolving. So evolution means the gradual change that takes place in the body of an organism, that is called as evolution. Whereas here in we are using the sentence, that's why I wrote evolving. And self-regulating, we should be able to regulate our body. For example, when you are feeling hungry, someone should not remind you that you are feeling hungry. You are able to recognize whether you are hungry or not. For example, if you wanted to go to school, so you should be able to see the timing, as it is 9 o'clock, now we supposed to go to the school. For example, if you wanted to go for a walk, you should be able to recognize, now I feel like walking. So in our body we have a self regulatory system like this. How, let us take, we are taking breathing. So just we are taking breathing, but once we take this breathing, this oxygen, it is entering into your lungs, and from lungs to the blood, and blood to various cells. So how it is regulating? Now you are taking food. Now when you are taking food, you are taking complex biomolecules, whereas when it is entering into the body, these are complex molecules, they are breaking down to simple soluble molecules, as I already mentioned in the above slide, like glucose, amino acids, and also fatty acids. So your body, just you are eating food, just you are taking breathing, but your body only, it is looking after what we have to do further. So that ability of an organism to maintain itself by various metabolic activities, that is called as self-regulating interactive system. Hope you understand. So three words I mentioned in the definition. The first one is self-replicating, the second word is evolving, and the third word is self-regulating interactive system. So these three words make the proper definition for living organisms. So again I'll read it so that you can understand a little more better. Living organisms are self-replicating, evolving, and self-regulating interactive system capable of responding towards external stimulus. See here, I'm taking one more word, responding towards external stimulus. For example, it is hot, then what you do? Immediately you will on the fan. No, it is cold, then what you do? Immediately you will on the AC. I'm really sorry. If it is cold, immediately you start wearing any sweater or sweatshirt, something like that. So somehow you will make your comfort. So that means you are responding towards the external stimulus. Hope you understand the definition of living organism. Whereas here one important point is there where you have to understand so clearly that living and non-living objects, actually they are composed of same type of elements. That means carbon, hydrogen, oxygen, nitrogen. It is, these are all atoms, these are all atoms which are present in living and also non-living matters. Then what makes the difference between living organisms and non-living objects? And even they are subject to the same physical laws like gravitation and also magnetism. So everything is same between living and non-living, but still what makes the difference between living and non-living? That is very important point what you need to understand. Let us see how we are different from non-living objects. Let us see. We, that means we means here I mean living organisms, they exhibit certain characteristics. So with the help of that characteristics, we are distinguishing ourselves from the non-living objects. What are they? See, I have given a list here, you can read it. The first one is, the first characteristic is growth, and the second characteristic is reproduction, and the third characteristic is metabolism, and the fourth one is response towards external stimulus, and the fourth one is homeostasis. And these are the characteristics exhibited by the organism. Let us see one after one. And here I made a very small mistake, and the mistake what I did is, here in the homeostasis, i I have to introduce the cellular organization. I'm really sorry for that. Here you please write cellular organization instead of homeostasis. Students, I'm really sorry for this. In the place of homeostasis, you add cellular organization. And here, just go side of these particular characteristics. First two characteristics, that is growth and reproduction, they are the non-defining properties, and metabolism and response towards stimulus and cellular organization, that the defining properties. What does it mean? It means growth and reproduction, they are not the defining characters. That means all the organisms do not show the growth and reproduction, are all the organisms need not to show the growth and reproduction. For example, one unicellular organism is there, it never grow. Why? वो पूरा बॉडी में यूनिसेलर, यूनि मीन्स वन, सेल्यूलर मीन्स हैविंग सेल, सो पूरा ऑर्गेनिज्म में एक ही सेल है, सो यूनिसेलर ऑर्गेनिज्म. इसमें क्या ग्रोथ है? एक ही सेल है, पूरा बॉडी में एक ही सेल है, सो देन हाउ इट विल ग्रो? सो बट स्टिल इट इज अ लिविंग ऑर्गेनिज्म. Hope you understand. And reproduction, organism, for example, some of the people, some of the persons, they never marry and they never give birth to the babies, then they are not living organisms. So these two are not compulsory. An organism should grow, an organism should not should reproduce. So they are not like compulsory characters. If they don't grow, they have to die. If they don't reproduce, they have to die. So ऐसा बिल्कुल नहीं होता है. Hope you understand. So that's why they are not defining properties of the organism. But very important point I'm telling you, every organism has to show the metabolism. Every organism should have the ability to respond towards the stimulus, and every organism should have cellular organization. That means, for example, if one organism it is not showing metabolism, obviously it will die. One organism is not responding towards the stimulus, obviously it will die. So these three characters will define, they are must and should characters that has to be performed by the organisms. That's why they are called as defining properties of the organism. Whereas growth and reproduction, they may not, organism may be or may not be able to exhibit this type of properties. If they show these characters, very good. If they don't show these characters, also very good. So that's why these two are non-defining properties of the living organism. Let us take one after one. But students, a small correction. What is that? Actually, we have to start from growth reproduction, but for your easy understanding, because it is like basic classes, that's why immediately if I start with the non-defining properties, I feel that you don't understand. That's why slowly we are starting. You are still just small kids, that's why you need little better understanding. That's why I am reversing the sequence. So I am starting the defining properties first, and then I'll start the non-defining properties. Just I am making this change only for your understanding. Let us take the characters one after one. Now, the first defining character is nothing but metabolism. What is metabolism? The sum total of all the chemical reactions that takes place in the body to maintain the life, that is called as metabolism. For example, just example के लिए मैं I am telling, one person is there. Let us name that person. His person, that person name is some Ram. So this Ram body में some 1,000 chemical reactions are taking place. Students, I'm telling you, I'm telling this only for your understanding sake. To be frank, so many hundreds of chemical reactions that takes place in our body. Just I wanted to make you to understand. That's why I'm telling like this. Let us take 100 chemical reactions are taking place in that body of Ram. So all the sum total of this 100 chemical reactions to that takes place in the body to maintain the life, that sum total of the chemical reactions, that is called as metabolism. So hope you understand, sum total of all the chemical reactions that takes place in the body of an organism to maintain the life, that is called as metabolism. Such chemical reactions are of two types. That means metabolism, it is of two types. What are they? First one is anabolism and the second one is catabolism. Let us take the first one. The first one is anabolism. Anabolism means these are the chemical reactions in which small molecules they join to form a big molecule, then that is called as anabolism. For example, I have taken photosynthesis as an example so that you can understand so easily. So, till now in your lower classes, you must have read the photosynthesis. That's why I have taken such an easy example. In photosynthesis, what happens? See here, you can see 6 molecules of carbon dioxide and 12 molecules of the water. So, what I told anabolism, small molecules they join to form big molecule. Am I correct? Hope you remember this. So here these are small molecules. What are they? Carbon dioxide and water. But these carbon dioxides and water molecules which are small, they are reacting with each other in the presence of sunlight and then producing a big molecule. What is a big molecule? C6H12 and O6. That means this is a glucose molecule. So to form one big molecule, two three small molecules, if they join, then that is called as anabolism. But you have to understand so clearly, anabolism में क्या चल रहा है, क्या हो रहा है? Two or three molecules are joining to form a big molecule. So can I call it as constructive process? Yes. 100% I can call anabolism is a constructive process, because here joining of small molecules are taking place to form a big molecule. Let us take a common example. If you wanted to build a like a wall, then what you do, you will join so many small bricks and then you can make a big wall. Hope you understand. That's why anabolism is also known as constructive process. Now let us take the second type. Hope you remember metabolism. It is of two types. The first one is anabolism and the next one is catabolism. So I'm taking the second one, catabolism now. Catabolism exactly opposite to anabolism. So what I told in anabolism, two or more molecules they join to form big molecule, है ना? Right? Exactly opposite. One big molecule, it is dividing into this it break down into small molecules, then that is called as catabolism. Here the glucose here C6H12O6, that means this is a glucose molecule. Now this glucose molecule, it is break down to form what? 6CO2 plus 12H2O to form some energy. That means a big molecule, it is breaking to form some small molecules, and that is called as catabolism. Hope you understand. So now anabolism, it is called as constructive process. So can I call catabolism as a destructive process? Yes. Why? Because one big molecule, it is breaking to form some small molecules, then this is called as catabolism. Hope you understand. Now the next one, consciousness. Consciousness means response of an organism towards external stimulus. That only I entitled it as consciousness. Consciousness basically means ability of an organism to sense the physical or chemical or biological stimulus. For example, I'll tell you very easy way. Of course, we are responding with the help of some sense organs. What are they? Some examples if I tell, you will definitely understand. Now when you touch a hot object, immediately you will withdraw your hands. How? Because our skin is a type of sense organ. So with the help of skin, immediately you are responding, yes, this is a very hot object, it is harming my skin. So immediately within no second you withdraw your hand. That means you have ability to respond towards external stimulus. Am I correct or not? Now let us take one snake, it is moving, it is going on your side. Then what you do? On seeing it only, immediately you will jump to the safer side. Am I correct or not? That means you have seen. That means eyes are also what? A kind of sense organ, so that you can be able to detect that snake, it may harm me, so I need to go to the safe place. So you are responding, that response, that ability of response of an organism towards this particular external stimulus is like physical, chemical and biological stimulus, that only, of course, with the help of sense organs, that only it is called as consciousness. And I brought two three examples also for you. Let us take plants. Plants can be able to respond towards the external factors such as the light. See, you take one plant and you keep it under shade, then what happens, you can see clearly it bend towards the light. So plants are responding. And if, for example, if you don't put water for 2 3 days, the plant, it starts wilting, so it becomes weak. And that means it is showing this response towards the water. Like that, it show response towards temperature, and it show response towards other organisms, pollutants. And even the plants are flowering seasonally. For example, mango plant is there. Mango plant throughout the year, why it is not producing the mangoes, you only think, just think, then you will get the answer. That means they are responding towards a particular season. That means plants, they are having the consciousness because they are responding towards the external stimulus. Like that, if you take human beings also, human beings are having little more higher levels of consciousness. Why, the reasons, see, I clearly mentioned here, because they have well developed nervous system. But plants actually do not have nervous system. Have you ever read neurons are present in plants? Anyone said like that? Never, because plants don't have any nervous system. But we have a proper, well developed nervous system, and we have a good levels of communication system, and that is called as skill of communication, and that is called as self consciousness. For example, if you are feeling hungry, immediately you will go to mother, mommy, please feed me, you give me something to eat, I am feeling hungry. So you have good communication. You can, if, for example, if you wanted to buy something, or if you wanted to do some shopping, you will go to your father, papa mujhe 100 rupiya de do. Of course, some students, they do the dadagiri also, nikal 100 rupiya patta nikal, ऐसा भी कर सकते हैं. But some self conscious तो है आपको. So that only, that, but when you compare this with plants, our self conscious abilities are very high when you compare with the plants. Here I need to tell you one important thing. What is that? Even brain dead patient also, that means coma patients, you will call coma patient na? So in the coma patients also, you can be able to see the consciousness, but they don't have this particular self consciousness. Hope you understand, because they are also feeling hungry, but they can't be able to express it. So because they are brain dead, but remaining physiological activities, they are going on. So that you need to clearly understand. So again, I'm telling you just for your understanding, brain dead patients, like me, that means coma patients, they are having conscious, but they can't be able to respond properly. Hope you understand. Now, adaptation and homeostasis, of course, these are also very important characteristics of living organisms. And as dire dire, slowly, when we are entering into other chapters, and these two topics you have to read many times, but this is a first chapter, and this is a kind of, I'm introducing the concepts. That's why for now I am explaining only definitions. So what is adaptation? Ability of an organism to change the body according to the external environment, that is called as adaptation. For example, very easy example, a polar bear. Every one of us know polar bear. Polar bear, what it will do, because it is living in polar regions, very cold temperature, so what it is doing, it is developing blubber, thick layer of fat. So it is changed because of the development of thick layer of fat in the body. So how cold it is outside, but still it is not feeling it. It's a common experience. Some of our students, they are little healthy, they are little fat, then even in the winter also they want AC. Why? Because beneath, under their skin, a thick fat layer will be there, fat layer will be deposited. That's why they can't be able to respond towards the external stimulus. external cold. Hope you understand how. So already they are present in the polar region, that means cold region. That's why they're developing this blubber means thick layer of the fat. So it is a kind of adaptation. It is changing the body, right? Am I correct or not? It is changing the body according to the climate where it is staying. So that ability of an organism is called as adaptation. Hope you understand. Whereas दिस इवोल्यूशन एक दिन में नहीं तो एक हफ्ता में बिल्कुल नहीं होता है. इट इज अ लॉन्ग इवोल्यूशनरी प्रोसेस. इट नीड्स generations. I'm telling you, just to develop one single character, it need 2 3 generations. Understanding it, it need a long evolutionary process, and then it becomes genetically fixed. Hope you know what is genetically fixed. Ability of an organism to transfer that character from one generation to another generation, that is called as genetically fixed. But to get this character to get genetically fixed, it need to go through a long evolutionary process. Whereas here I brought one small word that is called acclimatization. Acclimatization means ability of an organism to gradually adjust towards the changing environmental condition. That means slowly how an organism is adjusting towards the changes that are taking place in the external atmosphere, that is called as acclimatization. Now, let us take homeostasis. Very important point. And many times आगे various chapters we will read na, and in that chapters many times you will read this particular word that is called as homeostasis. Homeostasis basically means maintaining the internal environment constant from ever changing external environment, that is called as homeostasis. Hope you did not understand. Don't worry at all. I will explain with an example. Now let us take our human body temperature as a small example. Our human body temperature is 37 degrees centigrade. Of course, when we measure it in Fahrenheit, our temperature it comes to 98.4 Fahrenheit. है ना? Now, what I said, our body temperature is 36 or sometimes 37 degrees centigrade. It fluctuates, usually 36, sometimes 37 ऐसा fluctuate होता है. So let us come to the point. Now it is summer. Now outside the temperature it will be sometimes it will be even 40 41 also, but still you take a thermometer, and what you do, you put that thermometer in your mouth, and then after 2 3 minutes you take out, still our temperature will be 37. How it is possible? Just think how it is possible. It is possible because our body has the capacity of homeostasis. Immediately it activates the sweat gland. So in our skin there are some special glands that are called as sweat glands. They started producing the sweat. So with the help of this sweat, it cool downs the body. Whereas let us take it is winter season. Just imagine, of course it is not winter season, but still we think for a while it is a winter season. Immediately outside temperature it will be 22 21 20 degrees centigrade. But what I said, hope you remember, our body temperature must be 36 to 37 degrees centigrade. Then how to maintain? Yes, we have ability to homeostasis, so we can be able to maintain. How you know? Our muscles, they started shivering. You do na, ऐसा करते हैं ना, what is that? That means you are shivering. When you are shivering, muscles in our body, our muscles, they are present in form of bundles. And when this muscle bundles are shivering, some friction, that means some heat it will be generated, so that that heat it maintains the body temperature to 36 or 37 degrees centigrade. So hope you understand. Now if I read, definitely you will understand. Ability of an organism to maintain the internal environment constant. So we are maintaining our internal environment constant, that is 36 to 37 degrees centigrade, from ever changing external environment. So external environment is always changing. Summer may 40 to 43 degrees centigrade, winter may 20 21 22 degrees centigrade. So external environment it is changing, but our body internal environment it is not changing. And that ability to maintain the unchanged environmental internal environmental condition, that is called as homeostasis. You understood? Now let us take the next characteristic of living organism, that is called as cellular organization. Hope you remember I made a small mistake. What is that? Instead of the third character, I wrote homeostasis and I corrected it also. Now we in that place you write a cellular organization. Cellular organization basically means every organism, you take any organism in this world, whole world, every organism is basically made up of cell. That's why cell is a basic unit, fundamental unit of any living organism. Of course, some living organism restrict themselves with only one cell, then they are called as unicellular. Whereas in some organisms, these cells they will join to form tissues, and again tissues to form organs, and then body, and they are called as multicellular organisms. See, I clearly mentioned small atoms like carbon, hydrogen, and nitrogen, and all phosphorus, and all they are atoms, and the small atoms they join to form molecules like carbohydrates, proteins, fats, nucleic acids such as DNA and RNA. See, atoms they converted themselves in form of molecules. Now these molecules they join to form cells, and again cells they join to form tissues. That's why group of cells called as tissue, and these tissues they join to form organs, and organs they join to form organ systems. Various organ systems are there in the body, like a digestive system, and a respiratory system, and a excretory system, like that. So many systems are there in the body, and these many systems they are joining to form an organism. And this sequential arrangement of the atoms, molecules, and cells, that only you are calling it as cellular organization. Students, hope you understand today's class, and in the next video classes I will explain about non-defining characters of the organism. Okay, thank you so much. Students, I am telling you, any doubt feel free to ask me. Okay, thank you so much.